Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Happy Saturday. Okay, so I just filmed a drama video sitting right here in front of this camera in the middle of the day, going up the hill. My dad used to call that when I was a little kid, when you talk like that. I'd be like, so Dad, we went to school, and then at school, and he would say, like, talking up the hill. Did you guys ever hear that statement? Anyway, so I just was sitting here filming a drama video, and when I was piecing it together, I was like, oh my God, the lighting is so bad. Sitting here in the middle of the day. I mean, maybe if I had worn like a darker sweatshirt or something, it wouldn't have been as bad, but I just feel like it completely washes me out. And to be honest with you, I don't really care today because I'm really excited about going to my mother-in-law's Christmas party tonight. Supposedly we're supposed to wear pajamas. I have a feeling that my husband probably won't wear pajamas because he is upstairs right now taking a shower. And then when he gets out of the shower and gets dressed, he is going to run to the store to get some things to take over there. And then he also said he wanted to get some snacks for next week. And then I said, okay, well, I want to go to the grocery store as well tomorrow. And he goes, okay, well, we can go both days. And I said, okay. So he's going to go and run and get some stuff. And then I'm going to vlog. And then when I get done vlogging, I'm going to jump in the shower and figure out what I'm going to wear tonight. And then it's real laid back. It's just like family and a few close friends. I don't think it's going to be that many people. It'll probably be like Alex and me, his mom, his grandma, his aunt and uncle and cousin. I don't even think Carlos and Liliana and the kids are coming. I think they have something else they're doing tonight. So I don't think they're coming. And then Caroline and her husband Mike are coming. And I think it's like 2 of my mother-in-law's friends and their husbands are coming as well. And so I think it's going to be pretty small. And anyway, it'll be fun. It'll be real fun. Happy winter solstice. So we got that going on tonight. So I woke up today, and you know, it's interesting. So I'm keeping track. Nikki told me the other day, she said, you know, like, you should keep track of, like, when you're feeling, like, anxious and whatever, like, physically anxious. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. And, like, my doctor had kind of mentioned something about that to me as well. And so I started keeping a list. And 2 days ago was when I woke up from the nap. Wasn't that 2 days ago? That I woke up from the nap and I felt, like, just, like, real sketchy and just, like, I felt like I was coming out of my skin. I just want to say this, that it's such a bizarre feeling to have that, to like feel like you're coming out of your skin. And I've shared it with some friends of mine, actually, some sober friends of mine that have like experienced, you know, like anxiety for long periods of their life. And they're like, that's exactly what it feels like. You literally feel like you're shaking from your insides out. But if you hold up your hands, you're not shaking at all. And then a couple of you guys have commented on there, and several people have sent me direct messages talking about like when they were like suffering from anxiety or when they first got diagnosed with anxiety, that's how it really felt for them. And I just want to say I really, really appreciate that. It makes me feel like not so all alone. In all honesty, when it first kind of started, before I went and saw the doctor, I did feel like I was kind of going crazy a little bit. I mean, I was like, what is it? Like if you sit there with your eyes closed, you would swear your entire body is shaking like that, right? And then you hold out your hand, and your hand's not shaking at all, and you're like, what is going on? Like, it feels like when you're looking, I don't feel like it right now, but it feels like when you're looking at your hand is like shaking like that, but you look at your hand and it's completely still, and you're like, what is going on? It's the most bizarre feeling. So the other night I had it after I woke up from my nap, and that one was pretty bad. And then yesterday, didn't really feel it at all, didn't, you know, whatever. But today when I got up this morning, I didn't feel it after my nap last night, but when I got up this morning, or this afternoon, when I got up this afternoon, I did feel it a little bit this afternoon, like at first when I got up. But then it like went away pretty quickly. So what I'm hoping is, because the doctor told me if it's situational anxiety, okay, associated to stress and grief, if it's situational, then we're probably looking at, he said, I think at the time he said 3 to 4 weeks to like, you know, 4 to 6 weeks to 2 to 3 months is what he said, something like that. So it feels like at first it was like every day, and now it's kind of like every other day. And even like today when I got up, it was less than it was before. So I'm hoping and praying that it's getting a little bit less and a little bit better as we go. But it's the weirdest feeling, and I'm having like nightmares every night. So my quality of sleep, even during my naps, I'm having nightmares. So my quality of sleep is not great. But I am in a good mood today, and I'm very excited. And you know, I have to tell you, last night, so I called my vlog yesterday Peter's Christmas party vlog, but I didn't even think about coming up with that until the very end, because at the very end of the vlog, was when I started doing like the Christmas trivia quizzes and all that kind of stuff. And that was so fun. I had such a good time doing that. Thank you guys. And then I was like, oh, this kind of feels like Peter's Christmas party. So maybe in the next couple days, we will have an official Christmas party. We'll have the official Peter's Vlog Christmas party, okay? It'll be like an office party where we all come over here and we watch the Christmas party together. And we'll have Christmas songs and we'll have Christmas, well, I'm on a weight loss journey. So maybe not so many Christmas snacks and treats, okay? But maybe Christmas coffee. And then somebody yesterday gave me a coffee advent calendar from Aldi. And so I actually, truth be told, I pulled them all open last night and put them in the drawer, all 24 of them. And there's like, I think today's is peppermint, is what today's is. Last night was like cinnamon maple or some caramel maple. And this is cinnamon. This one doesn't really, or this one's cinnamon. This one is peppermint. But I think it's so fun. And when you look in my drawer, it's like literally like 20 coffees, all Christmas coffees. They're all different flavors. And I love it. I love it so much. So maybe we'll do a little Christmas. Would you guys like that? Would you like that? For Christmas Eve, maybe. I'll film that earlier in the day. And then that'll be kind of like a fun way. I mean, I'm probably not going to film super long vlogs. Somebody asked me yesterday, they're like, are you going to still film? Maybe they sent me a direct message. They said, are you going to still film through the holidays? And I was like, yeah, of course I'll still film through the holidays. I'll probably either pre-film videos, but definitely like the vlogs and stuff through the holidays. But, so yeah, I am planning to continue to film. I just kind of feel, it depends on how I feel when I get up. Depending on how long I go for this vlog today and how much time I have left, we have to leave here at 5. So currently, I feel like I'm all over the place. I just did this long vlog. It was like 40 minutes long, and I'm like, I think it was 39 minutes. In 50 seconds, and I'm like, oh. Anyway, it is currently 3:27. So depending on how much time I have left, when I get done with this vlog, I would love to do the aloe unboxing, or whatever, aloe, I think it's called, because I want to wear some of that stuff. Not necessarily today, but just in general. So if I don't do that today, I'll definitely do it tomorrow after we get back from brunch. But yeah, I'm in a good mood. Like I said, I woke up today and I felt a little like, it's weird because like in that moment, like my head, this is the weird thing is, like I've talked to enough people about it. I've talked to Nikki and Tanya and Alex and my therapist and, you know, the doctor and friends of mine that have experienced, you know, anxiety and all this kind of stuff. And when I talk to them, and they all ask like the same questions. Like, well, are you stressed about something? I don't really feel stressed about anything. I really don't, you know, definitely not Christmas. I'm excited about it, you know. There was a period where I kind of wasn't, and they're like, well, what's going through your head? I mean, I miss Boo Radley greatly. It's kind of a constant throughout my day, but I don't know that it feels to me, like it doesn't feel correct that that's what's generating this, if that makes sense. I don't feel real stressed about anything, so I don't know what it is, you know? I mean, my doctor and my therapist both believe that it's like combined from like years of one thing on top of another, that, you know, it was the accident, and then it was Tucker, and then it was coming back to YouTube, and it was the, you know, all this legal stuff and police investigation behind the scenes of dealing with all of that, and then it was the, you know, coming back to YouTube and making videos, and I wasn't really sure how to do that and when to do that, and then came back, and then, you know, pancreatitis, and then, you know, then Boo Radley got sick, and it's just been like one thing after another, and I've never really fully dealt with all those things, even though I'm like in therapy talking about it all the time. So both my therapists, you know, I mean, my therapist and my doctor, in conjunction working together, both think that it's like what they call combined grief. And that it's just like grieving all these different changes and loss through the years, and that's causing me to have this physical manifestation to anxiety. Somebody left a comment on my video yesterday, and it really, really made me feel seen, and I want to say I really appreciate it. I don't know if I could find the comment, and to be honest with you, I mean, if anybody wants to look it up, they can look it up. I'm not going to read it on video because it was such a personal statement, but somebody said something to the effect of that they had the same physical manifestation of anxiety that I did, and they didn't know that it was anxiety at first. And I really appreciate that comment. I've gotten a couple of direct messages like that as well, where people are like, Peter, when I first started having the same physical reactions to things that you're having, I had no idea that it was anxiety until I went to my doctor and they told me the same thing. When I went to my doctor, and he told me that he has seen it from a lot of people that have gone through breakups, or you know, grieving, or just change in their life, or leaving college, or starting college, or leaving a job, or starting a job, or going through a divorce, or whatever, that they had experienced physical manifestations of anxiety and grief. Like I knew that. I think in my head I knew that, right? But I had never experienced it. So it didn't feel real to me. And I'm not talking about where, okay, this is, I don't know how to make sense of this. Not like where you're so sad that you're like vomiting, or you're so angry that you're like throwing up, or you feel sick to your stomach, right? Like that makes sense. This is the only way I know how to explain it. Like that makes sense, right? Like where you, or maybe like if you, let's say like, you know, when you're like planning a funeral and going through that whole process, you're not sleeping a lot. You're sleeping like 1 or 2 hours a night and you're just exhausted by the end of it. And your body is physically reacting to the exhaustion that you're feeling from the grief that you're going through. Okay, that's very like connected. I'm talking about physically, I feel like I'm shaken from the inside out and I can't connect it to anything because it's not like something happens and then this is, if that makes sense. It's not like, you know, like, ouch, it's not like that, right? Like, it's something, I just wake up. Like, what did I wake up from in my sleep this morning? I mean, unless I was having a nightmare, what was causing me to have this physical reaction to anxiety, unless it's that I'm not getting enough sleep, I'm not getting enough good sleep, that I'm just having a physical manifestation. And so when people said, messaged me and left a comment that they're having the exact same thing, or they've gone through the exact same thing and they didn't know what it was at first either, felt very like, I don't know, it felt validating to me that I was like, I'm not the only one that's gone through this. And I feel like now I know several people that have gone through it. You know, I did reach out to some friends of mine that are sober, that have had panic attacks and things like that and gone through, you know, like where they've had like a lot of physical anxiety. And a lot of what I've shared with them, they're like, yep, that's where I was when it started for me. Like, that's how it started for me, which that kind of scares me a little bit, that people have said that's where it started for them. You know, like that's not where it went. Like it got a lot bigger, but that's where it started. I'm hoping that, you know, with therapy and continuing to see my doctor and taking care of myself, that it doesn't, you know, get much worse. But I don't know. It's just, it's weird to me. Like, when I get up from a nap and, like, the nap was good, and all of a sudden, I mean, like, I just feel like, I'm like, I had a good nap. I slept well. We watched some TV shows, you know. I mean, nothing stressful happened today. And then all of a sudden, I feel like I'm coming out of my skin. There's no, it's not like I can connect it to a reason. And people will say to me, and if you've experienced anxiety, I think you'll understand this. Whenever I share this with people, people will say, well, what's stressing you out right now? Well, what's going on? And it's like, I can't pinpoint any one thing, because there might not be any one thing during that day that has happened, you know? So I don't know, unless it's just me pushing through all this stuff that's, you know, happened, and I've never really, you know, done it one way or another. Hold on just a second. I'm trying to upload this video, and it's telling me. Hold on just a second. I gotta check out this video because it's telling me that there wasn't enough room in iMovie to upload this video. So I don't know if this video got rendered or not. Nope, I don't think it did. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do this again. Setbacks. Okay. So anyway, there's that. But other than that, I'm like doing great today and I'm in a really good mood. Okay, one thing I do want to say. So I got my coffee, but I also have my candle right here. So this candle that I showed off in my Peter Does Stuff channel in my haul, and that I showed off in my vlog yesterday and talked about how great Mare is. Mare is great. I love Mare so much. But Mare did not send me this candle, okay? Mare sent me other candles that are coming from Peanut's Freedom Farm, but this was not the candle that she sent me, okay? And so she felt really bad about that, and she commented on my video. There was no note inside of it. It didn't have any, like, receipt or anything that said that this came from, you know, Judy Smith or anything like that. So since Mare was the only one, people a lot of times will reach out to me and be like, you have a package, it's coming, it's from me, blah, 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 whatever. And so sometimes I usually know. I mean, other times people don't send me, but there's like a note or something. But there was no note because, like, when you order something from that place, unless at the end of it, it says, like, include a note, which a lot of times they don't say. It doesn't say anything like that on there when you order it. I've ordered things from people and I'll be at the very end and I'll be like, there's no place to, like, leave a note that it was sent from me. So unless there's a place to send that, like, I just open the box of the candle and there's no note. So I have no idea who sent it to me. So whoever sent me this hot cocoa candle, because I love it so much, I burned a lot of it last night. Whoever sent me this candle from Peanut's Freedom Farm, can you please let me know in the comment section below? And Mare's candles are coming. And I think that I'll just have to dedicate Mare's candles to the person. I'm joking. But I do love this candle so much. Alex said it smelled like, he was like, it smells like hot chocolate in here. I was like, yeah, it's the candle. Look at the lighting. The lighting just gets, it's like the worst light. It just gets, you know what? I think because we're during the middle of the day, I'm just going to have to blow that out. It just gets worse and worse and worse in here. Okay. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Okay, let's talk about last night. What did I do last night? No, I can't remember. What was last night? Oh, last night was Alex's. Was I still vlogging when he was on his way home? I was, because he was coming home. He got home really early last night from his dinner. I was like, when he got home, I was like, I can't believe you're home already. Oh my God, my vlog was an hour and like 41 minutes last night. It was so long. That's what happened last night. That my vlog was so long. But no, he got home, I don't remember what time it was, like 9:30, 10, something like that. Well, whenever I finished vlogging was when he was on his way home, because I read his text on here. He got home, and Friday, did we watch TV last night? Or was that the night before that we watched House of Villains? And that was the night before. And so he went upstairs, and he was like really, really tired. So I was down, so I vlogged, I finished that, and then I watched one episode of Black Doves, and then I went upstairs to lay down and take a nap. Oh, no, he sat down here first and he watched an episode of All Rise, and then I sat over on the couch because I was waiting for my vlog to get uploaded. I wanted to upload it before I laid down and take a nap. That's what I did. So I watched one episode of All Rise with him. I just sat on the couch and like rolled through my phone while he was doing it, while I was waiting for this to get done rendering. And then he watched a second episode, and I watched, why do I feel like we watched something together last night? Where's my list? Did we watch something together last night? Did we watch House of Villains last night? Was that last night? Or was it the night before? I don't even remember now. Weekly TV. I haven't watched Matlock or Elsbeth yet. When did I... Okay, hold on a second. Watch TV shows 2024. I write down the date of when we watched it. House of Villains. When did we finish it? 2/19. Oh yeah, so we finished that on Thursday. So I don't remember, but anyway. So I sat on the couch, and then I watched an episode of Black Doves, I think that was. And then went upstairs, and then he looked at TikToks, and he looked at TikToks forever last night. And then I fell asleep, and I took a nap. And then I got up, and when I got up, he was still looking at TikToks. And then I came downstairs, and at that point, it was like after midnight. And so I lit all the candles in the kitchen. Oh my God, you know what's so weird about last night? So I had this candle lit. I lit another candle that was like apple something. And first of all, those are own candle companies. I have 3 of them sitting over there. I thought I was down to the very last one. I was so excited about buying those candles. Those candles suck. They are bad. The mold cider is the only one that smells at all. The rest of them, they do not smell at all. But I had some apple candle. It might have been like a Bath & Body Works old candle that I had. But anyway, it smells so strong. So I usually light 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles in the candle wax. Last night I lit 1, 2, 3, 4 and no candle wax. So I had 3 less candles and no candle waxes, and the entire house smelled so good. This paired with apple is very, very nice. I will just tell you that right now. The hot cocoa with apple pairs very, very nice. So I read the Christmas books last night, and then I called Nikki, because we always talk about the Christmas books every night. Okay, if you're reading the Advent Calendar Christmas books, because people keep on asking me what I think about them, and I said I was going to do like updates every 5 days, and that didn't happen. I mean, now we're down to like the last 3 days. I told Nikki last night, I said, when she answered the phone, I said, I have some things to say. She just started laughing, because I always like go into it like, I'm like, okay, we need to talk about this book. But I said, Nikki, I said, we have because today's the 21st. I said, so at midnight it'll be the 22nd, because we always read the next day. I said, we have the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, and then the book's done. I go, well, we're no closer to knowing the truth now than we were. She just started laughing. So 25 days is actually really good. The Per Jacobson book, 25 days. It's not bad at all. It's good. The Xmas Break one is a complete pass for me, okay? Like, I would not recommend it to anybody. It's so dumb. And this is what she and I were talking about. There's so many opportunities for how you could have turned this book and made it into, like, this phenomenal book that, like, had all these twists and turns, but she completely misses the boat on it. She doesn't do any of that. There were so many opportunities. There's, like, these moments that you're reading the book. And first of all, the dialogue is so completely cheesy. But there's these moments where, like... There's this, like, one part at the very end of the chapter that we read last night, and the 2 sisters are talking, and they're like, because of Mama, right? And she's like, no, because of us, Claire. It's so cheesy, okay? And I have all these voices for all the people in the book that I do when I'm talking to Nikki on the phone. Xmas Break is horrible, okay? But, you know what I did get? I got a signed copy of I'll Be Alone for Christmas from Kristen Mulligan, the author. Wasn't that so sweet? Because she messaged me and she was like, it's in the kitchen. She was like, oh my God, thank you so much. I posted on my Instagram and then she's like, do you want a signed copy? I was like, yeah, I would love a signed copy. That's so sweet. And so she sent me a signed copy of her book and she was like, thank you for reading my book and blah, 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 whatever. It was real sweet. So I got that the other day. I finally opened it. So yeah, Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat. It's almost Christmas, can you believe it? It's crazy for those of us that celebrate Christmas. If you don't, happy Saturday. So then after that, I watched, I feel like I watched something else first. What did I watch last night? I read the books. What else did I do after I read the books? Why can't I remember? Oh, I talked to Nikki for an hour and 15 minutes, 20 minutes on the phone. We talked. So at that point, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. It was like 10 till 3 when I came inside. So then I sat down and I watched Black Doves last night. I was like at the end of episode 3, and I finished episode 3. It's 6 episodes. And then I watched 4, 5, and half of episode 6. So I've only got half of episode 6 left, and I'm done. You know, I was thinking about this last night. It's like La Palma, No Good Deed, The Madness, Alex Cross. What was the last one that I just watched? Shoot. The other one, the La Palma was the one that was dubbed, but 1992, and then this one. I just feel like I'm like one good show after another good show after another good show. It's like I don't want it to stop. It's like I don't want it to stop. It's like all these shows are so good. I am so in this realm right now of reading these like watching these like thriller shows. And then, like, reading the James Patterson book at night is, like, so much fun and stuff like that. I'm just, like, into this total thriller mood, and I love it. I was actually thinking about, because I wanted to do a book for my BookTube channel. I don't know that I'll get to it. It'll be the last week of the year if I do it, so it'll be after Christmas. But of, like, I used to do, like, my top 5 or 10 books of every year. So I might do that this year, although I might do my top 5, because I only, you know, read, well, at this point, like, 43 books or something like that. But I might do my top 5 books of 2024. But I was thinking about, like, Listen to the Lie by Amy Tintera, and then First Lie Wins, which I think was the first book that I read last year. And also the Denise Mina book, which was the follow-up to Conviction. I love that book. But, you know, I started last year on thrillers, and I'm ending this year on thrillers, which is really, really fun. Although, I will say this. Because I bought all the Christmas books, somebody said last night, I love their comment. I love when people give me, like, really sweet suggestions, but they're also, like, totally common sense. Because they're like, I think it's really sweet. And so it was like, just a suggestion on the Christmas books. Maybe what you should do next year is, like, buy 3 books, and then after you've read those 3 books, I'm like, you're 100% right, first of all, okay? And I'm an idiot, and I get overexcited, and so then I'm just like, buy, I'm gonna read 100 books for Christmas. I knew. It's like, but you were right, and I love the comment, because I was like, oh, they're so sweet. I am the person that always has put too much food on my plate. I'm like, always have done that, right? Like, you know, my mom would say, your eyes are bigger than your stomach kind of thing. I've always been that. That's why I have like 600 unread books in my Audible. Do you know how much money that equals? 600 unread books? I mean, that's a lot of money. Oh my God, do you know what I got today? This is so funny that I just said that. I think I got my credits today on Audible. We'll find out here in 2 seconds. Did I get my Audible subscription credits today? I'm reading I'll Be Home for Mischief. Oh, you do? You have 2? And what is My Mom's Murder hosted by... Oh, it's an Audible original. The Night Before Christmas. Why do I feel like I've read that one before? Is The Night Before Christmas, is that part of the... What? There's 2 books? Let's read what this is about. I have not read this book, I do not think. This is book 11 in the series, The Fixer-Upper Mysteries. Okay, no. But that's... The Night Before Christmas is also in the Christmas mystery books. But anyway, I don't need to buy any more books right now. Not one person said anything about Peter's book club for January, so I guess nobody's really that excited about it. Should I or should I not pick a book? I do have some book announcements. I keep on looking up there. It's so weird as I'm sitting here. Something keeps on catching my eye. It's so weird because between these 2 different banisters is where Boo Radley used to stick his little head out. And I'd say, hey, little guy. Whenever I pull up, hold on a second, all photos. If I look up dogs, it pulls this picture up right away, usually. I have the picture, hold on. It's actually on my Instagram. Well, there's one from back in the day when he was, that wasn't where he was like, that was like down, that's like towards down the stairs when he was, but where's the one where he's like, oh, here it is. So this is what little Mr. Boo Radley used to do with stick. Hey, little guy. I miss him so much. So I keep on looking up there because it's like something's catching my eye there. It's so weird. I do have moments like that throughout the day where I feel like something's like catching my attention. It's the most bizarre thing. What is taking this video so long to upload or to render? I don't really understand. I don't really understand. Because I need to get this video uploaded and go in. I got to make a thumbnail and do all that kind of stuff. Ah, what's going on? You're leaving and then coming back here, right? Obviously. Okay, because I still have to take a shower and get ready and get my vlog up and all this other kind of stuff. Where are you going? What store are you going to? Huh?
I already told you.
We didn't say which exact grocery store you were going to. We'll probably play some games tonight. Are you going to take games over to your mom's house?
No.
He's way up in the bathroom. Can you even hear him? He's like, no. I'm excited about tonight. I was like, I think I have. Well, I have a Grinch sweater, but it's like too big on me now. And I think I have another. Oh, you know what? I forgot. Oh. I think Alex got me, when he went to Dallas with his friend, he got me this pink Grinch sweatshirt. Maybe that's what I'll wear tonight. Might wear that tonight. That'd be really cute. Okay. Are you wearing pajamas?
No.
Nope. Okay, we're going to start uploading this video and get this done. And then once we do that, then we will return to the Christmas party. Okay, so last night I watched, God, see, it just caught my eye again. It's so weird. It's like something like the lighting or something up there, which is totally dark. It's like something keeps on catching my eye. It's so bizarre. It's kind of freaking me out, honestly. So last night I finished, or no, I didn't finish, blacked up. Last night I watched the end of episode 3. I watched episode 4 and 5 and half of episode 6. So I have half of episode 6 to finish when I get home tonight. And then I don't know what I'm going to start because there are so many shows that I want to watch. There's this new show that came out. So From ended on MGM and then it turned around and it started this new show called Earth Abides. And it's about like the end of the world. And this guy that like, he's like trying to survive in the end of the world. Very dystopian. It kind of looks a little bit like The Walking Dead a little bit. So I want to start that. I have like 10 shows. People keep on sending me shows. They're like, you should watch this, you should watch that. I like add all of them to my list. So I have like 10 shows that I want to watch. I think there's like literally alone on Apple, like 10 shows that I want to watch. And it's funny when people will be like, you haven't watched this and you haven't watched that. I'm like, I don't have enough time to, I mean, I watch a lot of shows, but I don't have enough time to watch like all these shows, you know? So, I finished that last night, and then, well, I got through halfway through the 6th episode, and I was like, you need to go to bed, okay? So I went to bed, okay? So I went to bed, and then, yeah, got up today, and haven't really done, I did 2 loads of laundry last night, too. And towels and clothes, and so I have to go down there, and I have to fold the clothes tonight. Well, I probably won't do that till I get back, but I'll probably pull something out of there to wear for tonight, like jeans or cords or something like that. Yeah, and then we're going to go over to his mom's house, and that's about it. That's about it. It's weird thinking about like all this stuff that I used to do with my mom during like the holidays, and it's kind of weird how like memories work. Like, I mean, I would always obviously see my mom on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and stuff like that, but I'm talking about like the days leading up to it. And like, I can remember we would like go shopping at like Edinburgh Outlet Mall, and you know, and what's interesting is that like today's the 21st, but usually we would leave by like the 22nd or the 23rd, like the last couple years my mom was alive, to go to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So for you guys that don't know this story, I'm obsessed. How could you not know this story? I'm obsessed with the movie Smoky Mountain Christmas with Dolly Parton, which is actually one of the 4 Christmas movies for Peter's Movie Club for December. So, and you can watch it on YouTube. I have it literally queued up right now. Okay, you can watch it on YouTube. I'm dreaming of us. Did it just say canceled? What is going on? It did. This is going to give me a hard time today. I can just tell this. Okay. What is going on? I'm coming out. Okay, first of all, let's look and see if there's something that's wrong with this video because it's not wanting to transfer. So maybe it didn't render all the way. But I love the movie Smoky Mountain Christmas. You can watch the whole thing. Did it? No, it got done all the way. Okay. I don't know why it's not transferring. But anyway, sometimes when I do something with the computer, when I touch the computer while I'm trying to transfer it, it stops. Okay, we'll see if it goes through this time. So, but I'm obsessed with the movie. Did it just do it again? No. I'm obsessed. Oh my god, while I was messing around with the computer and all kind of stuff, the battery stopped. So what I was saying is sometimes when I touch the computer when I'm trying, so it canceled the upload to my phone, which is quicker to upload on my phone. But I'm trying to get these videos done and uploaded before I leave so that they're up and they're not being posted. I don't know. I mean, if we get home at like midnight or 1 tonight, you know, I mean, it goes late at my mother-in-law's house, so I have no idea what time I get up. So I was trying to get these like up and posted before we go over there. But anyway, so it's like I'm having a hard time getting this drama video up. But anyway, so the movie Smoky Mountain Christmas, you can watch it on YouTube. You literally put in, Smoky is S-M-O-K-Y for Smoky Mountains. Smoky Mountain Christmas on YouTube. The entire thing is on YouTube. So you can find the whole thing on YouTube. So I was obsessed with that movie back in the day. And so I wanted to spend like a Christmas in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So I looked up cabins. I think it was like, it's called Sevierville is what it is. It's all like, it's like Sevierville, Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, then Gatlinburg. And so you can like rent these cabins. If you put in Gatlinburg cabin rental, oh my god, the most amazing cabins come up. I can't tell you how many cabins I've looked at through the years back in the day. I mean, they have cabins that have like indoor pools in the basement and with water slides. They have cabins. I mean, Alex and I stayed in when we went with his like friends. It was like a couple's trip that had like a full movie theater with like movie seats and everything in it. It was like 4 stories. I mean, it was really cool. It was a really nice cabin. And the cabins are not that expensive to rent for a night. I mean, like, even like that cabin that we stayed at was probably like, I mean, it's gonna sound expensive, but like $400 or $500 a night. But that's split by like four or 5 couples, you know what I mean? So it's really not that bad. But they have some like really cool places down there. Did this just cancel again? Like, what is going on with this video? It's always the day that I'm like trying to get stuff done before I leave, that this kind of stuff always happens. So anyway, so I loved that movie Smoky Mountain Christmas with Dolly Parton. I will tell you this, I don't love the beginning of it. So the beginning of it is when like she's filming this music video and she just doesn't like it because they have like these fake birds and she's like, why can't we just film this out in the country somewhere? And he's like, no, because we got bird trainers and all this other kind of stuff. So she just wants to go out and be in nature again, and she hates like, you know, being famous and rich, all this kind of stuff. So she takes off and she leaves to go stay in the Smoky Mountains like she was when she was a little girl growing up in the Smoky Mountains. And she stays in her friend's cabin, okay? She's talking to her friend on the way there. And so, or she's talking to her friend that night, and then she decides to leave and go up and stay at her friend's cabin. Did this get done? Just get sent? Sent, yes. Okay. So, come on. What's this doing? I'm dreaming of a Smoky Mountain. Let me turn the volume down. Are you getting ready to leave?
Yep.
Let me do this real quick and say goodbye to him, and I will be back in 2 and 2. Okay, I'm back. The lighting sitting right here during the middle of the day. I mean, it's kind of sunny today. It's not, I guess it's not too sunny. It's partly cloudy today. I mean, I'm looking out. I'm like such a meteorologist. I'm looking out past trees. Oh, let me tell you what my husband did to me, first of all. He's going to Costco. Let me tell you what he did to me, first of all, okay? When I woke up this morning, I was like half asleep. And he goes, he like came over and gave me a kiss. And he goes, oh my God, you're going to be so excited. And I go, what? And he goes, we got a foot of snow last night. I go, what? I was like so excited. I go, you're lying to me. He goes, no, for real, we got a foot of snow. I like tore out of that bed and looked out the window. I go, you're such a liar. I go, you pissed me off so bad. I was like, did we really get a foot of snow last night? I was so excited. I go, you're such an asshole. I go, you're always doing tricks. So anyway, he's going to Costco to get some stuff, not just for his mom's house, but apparently for this week as well. He wants to get some like snacks and stuff to have around the house. I think he's out of Cokes, and he knows that. If he gets Coke at the gas station, that's like 12, right? It's funny because Alex goes long periods of time without drinking soda at all, and then he will like drink soda like all the time. Like, it's so crazy to me. Like, I'm like, the other night I had like a Diet Dr. Pepper and I didn't even finish it when I was like filming, and then like I might finish it throughout the night or like the next day or something like that. Like I'm not a big, like, unless I get a fountain pop, the fountain pops I'm back to loving again. But I don't even go to gas stations that much to get fountain pops. If I'm out, I will get like a fountain pop. Like yesterday, was it Friday yesterday? Yeah, when we were coming back from therapy, I was like, do I want coffee or do I want a fountain pop? It's always like, if I haven't had coffee for the day, I usually have coffee first. But it's always like, do I want coffee or a fountain pop? Like going to my mother-in-law's house, she'll have soda and stuff there, but I'm going to stop and get a fountain pop on the way. Oh, you know I am. I cannot wait. Okay, I've already thought that fountain pop through, where we're going to get it, where we're going to stop, and all that kind of stuff, which place has the best fountain pops. You think about this stuff, especially when you don't get fountain pops a lot. But what's funny is, Alex goes, like, if Alex is home a lot, like this next 2 weeks he's going to be home a lot, like, he will, like, down Cokes. Like, down them. You know? I mean, Alex is pretty healthy. Like, I mean, he exclusively, like, I mean, other than going out and having some drinks with his girlfriends, he, like, only drinks water. Like, only drinks water. Like, that, it's all day, every day, drinks water. And so, it's weird, like, when he's here, like, if he has Coke. So, I know he's got, like, at Costco, you can get, like, the 35 pallet of Cokes, and it's, like, $9.99 or something. Like, it's not that cheap, but it's, like, $14.99. It's pretty cheap. He'll get one of those of Cokes, and then he'll just, like, tear through those Cokes. It's so funny, because I'll, like, be upstairs laying down, and I'll hear him, like, open a Coke, and then it'll be, like, a half an hour later, and I'll hear him open another Coke. And I'm like, oh, my God, he's tearing through those Cokes. I mean, I guess it's not a whole lot different than, like, you know, a 32-ounce fountain pop, but it feels different. It feels different. I want to light this candle, even though the lighting is so bad. I don't care. I'm going to light this candle. Whoever it's from. I appreciate this candle. Whoever sent it to me. This little light of mine, I'm going to make it shine. So what was I going to say? Okay, so he's going to get treats. Okay, so Smoky Mountain. So my mom and I and my ex, we went down to Smoky Mountain the first year. And, oh my God, that was so funny. Well, it wasn't, my mom, it wasn't funny to her, but then years later, she would laugh at it. So when we got there, we got to the cabin, because we left Indianapolis. We would always leave between like 6 and 8 so that we would get there in like the middle of the night. I don't know why. It would be like after like we all got done with work. And so the first year that we went, and we left at like 6 or, we like got stuck in traffic and stuff like that. So you go up through like the mountains in Tennessee, which my mom did not love. I didn't love either. And then you go through, like, wound through these small towns, and then you come out and through you drive through Pigeon Forge, and then Gatlinburg, like, you go down this long road, and then it takes you to Gatlinburg. Okay, Pigeon Forge is kind of, like, very Las Vegas-y. Like, there's, like, tons of bright lights, and, like, stuff that's, like, the made for, what's it called, only sold on TV, or whatever, that kind of stuff. And then they have museums and stupid restaurants. It's cute. I mean, they have a lot of, like, what do you call it, putt-putt golf, kind of different places, and all that kind of stuff. It's very Vegas-y, like, but kind of like, if you imagine, like, but no slot machines. If you imagine, like, Vegas and, like, Disney combined, but, like, a really junky version of it, that's kind of what Pigeon Forge is like. And then Dollywood is there, too. But Dollywood's, like, down this one road. You have to, like, drive way down this road to get to Pigeon Forge. And then you go down this long road that's along this creek, and all of a sudden you come out, this is a small little town, and it's Gatlinburg. Gatlinburg is adorable. Pigeon Forge is pretty too, because the mountains are all around you. It's just kind of junky through that street. So, and I love both of them, okay, for different, listen, I love a good junky city, okay? A clearance rack, are you kidding me? A clearance rack and a buffet. I love it all. So anyway, we come out into Gatlinburg, and it's like late at night, and I'm like following these directions and whatever, and told us to turn up this road. Well, there was like this motel, literally this motel, like 10-room motel, like right as we passed it by. It's like the 23rd, like, of December, okay? Like 22nd going to the 23rd of December or something like that. And, it's like, Gatlinburg doesn't get as much snow. Like, I thought it'd be like all like snow and whatever. It's not like that. It gets less snow, obviously, than we get here. And, but it was cold, and it was the middle of the night, so we start going up the side of this mountain. Well, when you start going up, it's not literally like this, but it is pretty steep. And my mom was like, no, I'm not going to go up here. I don't want to go up the mountain. I don't want to go up the mountain, blah, blah, blah. Take me to the hotel. I'll stay at the hotel, and then you guys can come down and visit me in the morning. I'm just going to say, my mom was starting to, like, panic. She doesn't like heights. She didn't like heights. So we get up to where the cabins are, okay? And it's like, all of a sudden, like, you know, you go in and it smooths out. It's like this, it looks like this condo complex, but they're all, like, log cabins. And so we, like, pull in to where, like, the pool is and, like, the main house, and you go in there and you enter a code, and then it gives you, like, the key or the code or whatever. It's your cabin. It's probably different today, but I think we had keys back then. So then we pull in. Well, it's pitch black, okay? And my mom's like, I can't see anything. It's pitch black, blah, 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 whatever. There's all these trees. You couldn't even really see the mountains. I mean, it was literally pitch black. You know, I mean, we're talking it's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And so we go into this cabin. The cabin's adorable. It's absolutely adorable. It's like this A-frame in the back of it that overlooks the mountain. It has this huge balcony, pool tables, they have gaming machines. Like all these cabins have like, you know, Pac-Man and Galaga and pool tables. They're cool. They're very cool. And each of the rooms were like, had like log cabin beds with like fake fireplaces. Like they had these fireplaces, but they were like fake, okay? But they were very cool. And we brought a Christmas tree to put up and stuff like that. So anyway, we woke up the next day, and I'll never forget, I woke up, and like, I was so tired, and I like, somebody made coffee, and I like poured myself some coffee, and the front door was open, and I walked outside, and my mom was like out there, and she's like, I don't even know what I was afraid of. She was like, it's so pretty here. She's like, I've walked all up and down through the hills, and because there was all these cabins, like, you know, like dispersed apart and stuff like that, and the mountains, oh my God. The mountains in the Smoky Mountains are some of the prettiest things I've ever seen in my entire life. In my entire life. To sit on that balcony, oh my God, I hit the table just as I was getting to that. But anyway, make sure I don't do this. To sit on the back patio and drink a cup of coffee and look at the Smoky Mountains, it is just unbelievably beautiful out there, okay? And equally, very cool, but very scary. Because then you start thinking about like, you know, all the people that might live out there, wrong turn, that kind of thing, okay? But it's beautiful, too. It's absolutely beautiful. Like, Cherokee National Park is beautiful, and Gatlinburg that you know, take to the other side. It's the highest, at the top, it's the highest point of the eastern United States. It's, like, unbelievable. I thought that would actually kind of freak me out, and it didn't really freak me out. But anyway, so that was the first year. There's a lot I could tell about that. And then we kept on doing it every year after that. We kept on, you know, getting a cabin. And the way that it started was that my Aunt Kathy and Uncle Dave have like a timeshare condo in Longboat Key, Florida. And so like Caroline and Mike still go down there. They don't do it at Christmas anymore. They do it like, cause you know, her stepson comes to visit and whatever. So they use those 2 weeks like in the summer. And they take David and his girlfriend now, and they go for a week, and then like they get a week anyway. So, but my aunt and uncle and like Caroline and Mike, they used to go down there for Christmas. They would go every other Christmas. And so during those that was the off Christmas, that first one that we went down there, we were like, let's just go to Gatlinburg. I think was that year that they were in Florida. So then the next year was when we were all together, and I was like, no, I want to go back to Gatlinburg, you know, like life's short, do what you want to do. And I loved it. And we kept on going to Gatlinburg every year after that until my mom passed away. So I don't know how many Christmases that would have been, 5, something like that, 4 or 5 Christmases that we went to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And the last one was just my mom and I. And it was the biggest cabin that we had because we thought a bunch of people were coming. Caroline was supposed to come. She couldn't at the last minute. She was going to come afterwards. And my ex and I had broken up. Scotty was supposed to come. He didn't end up coming because my ex and I broke up. And that was a whole mess. And then some other people were supposed to come. And so it just ended up being my mom in like this 4-bedroom cabin at Christmas time. And I was on this massive diet. And I was eating 2 lean cuisines a day. And we still had a good time. I mean, we still had a blast, you know. And that was the last trip with my mom. And so it's weird to think that was also, I resigned. I think we left the night of the 23rd because that was when I resigned from working in treatment. And I remember I like emailed my supervisor that morning and I said, I need to talk before we leave for the day. I wonder if that was a Friday. Well, it doesn't really matter because it was the last day before it doesn't matter if it was a Monday or a Wednesday. But anyway, so I remember she said, okay, and she like said like, how about 4 o'clock, like before I leave? And I was like, that's fine and whatever. And so I remember I went into her office and I sat down. I can see it still. She looked at this window over here and her desk was there and then she had this chair that sat next to it. I can remember sitting there and I just like looked at her and she started crying. She said, you're gonna leave, aren't you? And I said, I think it's time. God, it seems so weird. It's like almost been like, what is that? 17 years ago? I mean, 17 years ago, literally in 2 days. I loved those people that I worked with. It seems surreal to me. Anyway, I've had such a good life. I've had such a magnificent life, you know, and met so many incredible people. And been, you know, privileged to share such an incredible life with so many people. And had so many great trips and gone to the coolest places, you know, and so yeah. Where am I at on this video uploading? Well, I would like to get my vlog uploaded and done before I leave because that way I can just like post it. If we're like still up there at 1 o'clock in the morning, I can post it, you know, before I leave. But I don't know if that's possible. What time is it right now? Oh, it's 4:05. I still have an hour before we have to leave to get ready because we're not leaving here till 5. So yeah, so we would usually leave on like the 22nd or on the 23rd. But it's weird to think that that last Christmas, my mom's, we left on the, I remember we left on the 23rd that year. And, it's weird thinking, it's weird how memories work, isn't it? It's like weird thinking about that, like, it doesn't, there's parts of me, like when I'm like reliving that experience, you can see like I get so emotional about it, because that meant so much to me in my life. That was like such a big thing in my life, right? But like, it was also not just that, but it was that period of my life. And I think that after that, it's like, you know, I resigned from that position, and then I left at the end of January. My ex and I had broken up that previous December. My mom passed away in May. You know, it's like all these big changes happened that year. That was such a huge year for me. You know, 2007, December was when my ex and I broke up. But then 2008 was like literally a year of change for me. No, it was what, 16 years ago? I mean, it's crazy to me that was 16 years ago. Is this going out of focus? I feel like this whole thing has been out of focus. It probably is because of this candle. Hold on. I know you guys were like, that doesn't make any sense. Well, it does kind of, because if the lighting is like going over here. Is it out of focus? Is it what did the crying do it? It's the crying game. I know what I need to know about the crying game. Did you guys ever watch that movie? I did not love that movie. I didn't think it was the greatest movie in the entire world, but I did love that song. So yeah, it's weird when you think about memories though, you know, and it's like I can vividly see sitting in that room. I can, you know, resigning from my position. And I can vividly see, like, that cabin. I can see my mom and I standing in the kitchen and her sitting in the living room. And, I can see us, like, driving up Cherokee, through Cherokee National Forest to go to the casino that night. I mean, I can see us, like, driving around through Gatlinburg singing, "If I Had $1 Million" by the Bare Naked Ladies. And singing other songs. Like, she loved that song by Rod Stewart, "Do You Think I'm Sexy?" I don't know, we were singing that song on that trip as well. And just laughing. But it doesn't seem like it was yesterday. It's weird when you get to a point, you know when people say things like, "God, it seems like it was just yesterday." It's weird when you get to a point in your life where, like, the memory is still very strong, but it doesn't seem like yesterday anymore. You know, it's weird to me that I'm going to be 53 in June. I'm 52 now, and I'm going to be 53. And that wasn't, like, in relation to, like, being in high school, which seems like forever ago. And even Alex and I, like, we met that year, you know? It's crazy to me that sometimes, like, it's like, I mean, Alex and I have been together 16 years. We've been married for over 16 years. Married for over 13 years, you know? It's crazy to me when I think about that. It's like, I meet people now all the time that, like, they, like, have, like, 2 kids, and they've, like, oh, and I'm like, how long have you been married? And they're like, 6 years. And I'm like, they're like, how long have you been married? I'm like, 13 years. We've been together 16. I mean, it sounds like a lifetime, really, you know? And then I'll hear other people that are like, together 27 years. You know, I'm proud of the fact that we've been together so long, you know? But it does, like, Alex and I were talking about something the other day, like, somebody that we knew the other day from when we first, like, started dating. And I was like, what happened to that? Like, where are they now? Or something like that. And he said something about, I said, I don't ever see them, like, with, like, who they dated on, and Alex, like, on Facebook or something, and Alex was like, what are you talking about? Like, they divorced years ago, and they moved to some, I was like, what? How did you know that? He was like, I just ran into somebody that knows this was this woman we were talking about. And I was like, that is so strange. Like, I mean, so many people that we knew when we first started, through the years, not just when we first started dating, but through the years, so many people, you know, have gone through so many things, you know, and we've got to, like, experience this whole world together. It's a cool thing for the last 16 years, you know, but, it definitely does not, like, feel like it when, you know, people say it, like, God, it feels like it was just yesterday. It doesn't feel like it was just yesterday to me at all. It doesn't. Not with Alex and I just meeting, not with me working in treatment, not with me getting my master's degree and getting sober in high school feel like ages ago. My mom dying feels like a long time ago. What feels just like yesterday was being in Mexico for Alex's birthday. That feels just like yesterday. It's weird the older you get. I don't know when it switched for me. I really don't. Because there was a long time when, like, I would talk about you know, like high school, or even when I was vlogging, you know, I talk about high school or whatever, when it felt like it was just yesterday. Like, it really did. And I can remember saying on here, sometimes it feels like, you know, you like wake up and it's like my mom be like, your friend's here to pick you up for school. But like, no, it doesn't feel like that anymore. I don't know when the change happened. The change happened in the last couple years, to being from like, it seems like it was just yesterday, to like, no, that feels like a really long time away. Like, it does. Like, I feel very distant from those years. And it's been a long time. I mean, high school's been, I mean, I graduated in 90, 34 years? I mean, 34 years is a long time, you know? So, my mom's been gone, it'll be, you know, 17 years in May. I haven't worked in a treatment facility in 17 years, since January. I mean, it's crazy to me, because I, like, worked there short of 13 years, and it's been longer that I've been gone from there, you know? By a lot of years, you know? And, I don't know, like, my aunt and uncle have been gone for a long time. Like, PP is like this next week, it's like, you know, well, towards the end of the year, it's 5 years since he's been gone. I mean, it seems like a long time that PP has been gone. 5 years. PP was, I mean, there's probably some of you out there that are watching this that are like, who's PP? PP our Chihuahua. I'm like looking at a picture of him right now. I mean, PP was such a huge part of my life and our videos. I mean, it's been 5 years since PP, you know, was here. And that does seem like it was yesterday when he passed away. And then Tucker and Boo Radley, just, I don't know. You know, I am such a believer that it's the bitter and the sweet. Like, you can't just have, like, all good things in life. Like, it's the bitter and the sweet, right? Like, I truly do believe that. But it's hard, right? Like, it's hard to, I don't know. When you look back at your life, it's like a mix of all these things, you know? And sometimes, I think the hardest thing is, like, sometimes the things that made you the happiest in your life are the things that end up making you the saddest. Like, when I look at pictures of Boo or Tucker or PP, and like, I think about those times of just like being on the bed and whatever, you know, it's like sometimes like looking at those pictures of those videos are the things that like those made me the happiest at that moment that now make me the saddest when I look at them. Which I think is why I have a hard time sometimes looking at them, you know? And I know that that will change with time. I know it will. I don't feel like that with my mom necessarily anymore, you know? I feel privileged about the time that I had with my mom, and I feel that way with the dogs too, but I don't know. Life's just weird, you know? But I definitely don't feel like with a lot of these things like it was just yesterday. I just don't feel like that at all. In fact, I was thinking something yesterday, and I was like, it's been almost 2 months since Boo Radley's passed away. I mean, it's been almost 60 days. That I will say that does feel like it was yesterday. It does. There are moments that it feels like it was yesterday for me with that. I think it's when you look back on life and you look at like all the, you know, like, I mean, I've had so many, like Caroline always says that. She's like, we had such magical Christmases. I mean, even with the alcohol and stuff like that, we had really magical Christmases. And I mean, they were always really fun. And, you know, I mean, we never went without food or in presents. I mean, we had magical Christmases, you know? Candlelit, Christmas music, wonderful food, presents, dressed up, you know, lots of laughter and whatever. I think hiding behind all that was a lot of sadness and, you know, probably mental health and things like that. But we, for us as kids, I think we were aware of it and maybe kind of ignored it, even as kids, kind of, you know, like, mom's acting funny, but let's just, you know, whatever. This is like, during the holidays, a lot when I was younger, we would stay at like my aunt and uncle's house. And so, like like if we would do like Christmas Day at my aunt and uncle's house, well, usually, yeah, like then we would stay over there. Like Christmas Eve, we would always drive home until there was the incident, you know, with my mom in the car in the ditch and stuff like that. And then we switch Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. But I mean, there was a lot of times through then, like, you know, not just holidays, but through like, through the year, like my mom and I would like, she'd be like, pack a bag were going to Aunt Kathy and Uncle Dave's house for the weekend, and we would stay over there for the whole weekend. And it felt very safe to me, you know? My Uncle Dave was never really that heavy of a drinker. He drank, but he wasn't that heavy of a drinker, and I felt like I always felt safe with him, you know? And also my Aunt Kathy. My aunt drank heavy, my mom drank heavy, but, like, it wasn't like they were, like, screaming and yelling and whatever. I mean, it was like they would have dinner, friends would come over, they'd have cocktails on the patio, and then they'd all, like, watch a movie at night, and I'd be asleep, and, like, Caroline had this little day bed next to her bed, or next to her window, and I would sleep in there, and it felt cozy to me. It felt safe, you know? So, we did have magical, I mean, I think the thing is that, like, for me then, I always went home to this house with my mom alone where she continued to drink and be sad. I think sometimes, like, my mom's being sad was sometimes harder for me as a kid than her drinking. Because, like, and this is where I say, like, kids really understand stuff. Like, I understood that when I knew what that meant, like, from a very young age. Like, Mom drank too much. Like, I could say those words. I understood what that meant. I didn't have to understand, like, that's alcohol and what is that? And she's putting that in her mouth and it's making, I just knew. I don't know how I knew. I don't know if it was from watching movies or TV. I don't know how I knew. I just knew Mom drank a lot, and I didn't like her when she drank a lot. I just knew that. I don't even know the youngest memory I had of that. 5. I just knew that, you know? But that was almost not as hard as, like, my mom being sad. And then she'd just kind of be like, I mean, she'd still, like, you know, cook the meal and do whatever. I could just always tell this, it would come out of nowhere, and there'd be, like, this distant look in her face, you know? And I mean, I know now in retrospect, because she and I talked about it, that she suffered from a lot of, like, depression and things like that. But I didn't know, like, okay, with the drinking, as a kid, it even made sense to me, like, when I'm pouring out alcohol and stuff, like, okay, you could just stop drinking, and then that wouldn't be that way. But I think when my mom got sad, I didn't know how to make sense of that. And she didn't just get sad because of my parents and their marriage. She got sad because of Christmas, or she got sad because, like, you know, my grandma or something. I don't know. Like, she just gets sad about, I mean, she'd hear a song and just get sad. And my mom would cry, but she wasn't a crier like I was, okay? Like, I mean, she just would get this kind of, like, far off look in her eyes, like the Rolling Stones say, you know, she just kind of get this far away look in her eyes, just kind of like, she just kind of like was looking at this point, you know, somewhere in the distance of something that made her sad, and she just kind of get fixated on it, you know. And then I think also the reason why that scared me was because oftentimes out of that sadness came the drinking, and that was how she medicated it. And I didn't know, like, the drinking, I was gonna say I could fix. I couldn't fix it. But it felt fixable to me, even as a kid. Like, just don't drink, or just pour the alcohol down, or whatever, right? But the being sad didn't feel fixable to me. And I think that I knew she was sad. Kids are a lot more astute than we give them credit for. And I definitely was. And I know that other kids that I've talked to, other adults now that were kids of alcoholics, that they were too. I think that's why it's such interesting, like, we're like, oh, we're so afraid to have these conversations with kids. Kids know what's going on. If they have older siblings that are using in their home, or parents that are using, they know what's going on. They know that a parent is using in their home. They know. You cannot hide that from a kid. It's better to have that conversation with them now and get them into some help, and get them into some professional help before it's too late. That's just my personal experience based on advice. I think I was seeing a lot of, you know, professional people when I was growing up. I think that was my dad pushing that more. My mom believed a lot in therapy, but I think my dad kind of knew the situation. But I don't think they were getting me with the right people. You know, I don't think we asked those questions back in the day, like, because we weren't talking that much about recovery, substance abuse, addiction, children of alcoholics. I don't think my dad was, like, you know, calling up therapists and being like, do you have a specialty in children of alcoholics? I don't think that those were questions that we asked. I think that if there were specialists like that back in the day, I wasn't seeing them, and if I had, it might have helped. I don't know. Maybe I would have had language to maneuver that, but I didn't. But Christmas, I think, is, like, I hold it so dear in my heart, because especially after, like, I remember, like, the year, I feel like it was the year before. Well, it wouldn't have been the year that I got sober, because I was in treatment that year. So it would have been the year before. And I remember my mom and I both being drunk at her house. And, like, so that would have been 93 going into 94. And I got sober in 94. I remember us both being drunk at her house on Christmas Eve. And, like, mess. And, like, we used to always take a walk on Christmas Eve. And I remember us, and I'll end on this, because this is, like, a positive memory that I do have. And this does kind of feel like it was just yesterday, because it was something that we used to do here when my mom moved in here as well. And so my mom loved to watch the midnight mass at the Vatican. So it usually came on at, like, midnight or 11 or something. So we would, like, watch that. And then, or we would watch it when we came back. I think we watched it and then we would walk. We would like go for a walk. And I remember that Christmas before, we were both like obliterated and she couldn't even walk down the street. And I had to put her to bed. And then like I'm drunk, but I'm like drinking like all the leftover glasses and clean. It was just a mess. That last Christmas before, it was just a mess. And I'm like cleaning up like, you know, wine glasses from the dining room table and like drinking them and throwing them down. I mean, it's just a mess. And that Christmas after we got sober, so I got sober December 17th of 1994. So I'm talking about the Christmas of 95. My mom got sober December 2nd of 95. We were here, and we went to my aunt and uncle's house for Christmas Eve. And then I remember my mom and I came home. And at that point, I had started dating my first boyfriend because we started dating around Halloween. But he was spending that Christmas, he had a bunch of younger brothers. He had an older brother that was gay, and then he had a bunch of younger brothers and sisters because his mom like was remarried. She had like 4 and then 4 with her other husband. So he had like 7 siblings. So he was spending Christmas with them. And so I remember it was my mom and I, and we came here, and she made like a huge fire and lit a bunch of candles, and we're both sober, and she made a pot of coffee. And I remember we watched the Midnight Mass at the Vatican, and we walked. I just remember us laughing. I can remember us like laughing, like walking down the street. I don't, you know, remember a whole lot more than that, but I just remember us laughing. Like my mom had like the heartiest laugh, and we were holding hands and we were like laughing, walking down the street. And then we came back here and we like drank coffee and stuff like that. And then I can remember I went home, you know, and then got up the next day and came back over here probably for Christmas because I always wanted to be home. But it's a good memory. I'm so thankful that I have the sober memories of my mom. I'm so incredibly thankful. This is why I love when people use their kids as a reason to get sober. Not that that was the reason my mom got sober, but my mom getting sober gave me so many new memories, not necessarily to replace the bad ones, but as reminders that there were good things that happened too. And that was really powerful for me. And when I look back, you know, I don't remember the Christmas where we were put in the ditch as much as I remember like the walking after that, or the laughter, or me and, you know, my mom leaving, you know, my aunt and uncle's for Christmas dinner, or us doing this, or us going to shopping. And, you know, I remember all like the sober good moments, or Smoky Mountain, all the Smoky Mountain Christmases, you know, I do remember those, and they were good. And I'm grateful for them. So, all right, well, I'm going to get off here and get this rendered and get this uploaded so that I can maybe hopefully have it ready to go before I leave. And then I am going to get ready to go to my mother-in-law's house. So I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Saturday. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you guys. And of course, I will see you tomorrow. I love you guys, and I'll see you then. Bye. Love ya. Happy birthday, Lena.